Hello, good morning to you. Good morning to you. How are you, everybody? I've had a productive morning of sorting photos. Let me adjust my levels here a little bit. Hey. Sorting photos of cross-stitch, sorting photos of personal stuff, personal photos. Okay, I'm going to work on Move Forward, but I decided yesterday to do a string a day, strand a day on my circus of diamonds. I mean, yeah, diamonds, caro. Don't even know. And strand a day because I have to get this like mostly finished by next May, so that when I attend Stitch North, that Nathi and I will finish them together. And a strand a day will be plenty. In fact, it won't take like all year, but if I do 43.39 stitches a day, then I will have it ready by April 30th. And that is, hey, excuse me. I'm having some weird phlegmy stuff in my throat today, yesterday and today. I hope it's not sickness. Yay! Everybody, if you don't already, you should go watch Stitching Symphony. She just made a YouTube channel, Floss YouTube channel, just uploaded her third. I feel like you're coming into the Floss Tube world at the right time. Like, I feel like everybody has their regulars, and then it's kind of like in the... I guess I'm speaking for myself. I'm kind of in the ebb of the consuming new FlossTuber content portion of the ebb and flow. Sometimes I get overwhelmed, but right now I'm not overwhelmed, so I'm like finding new subscribers. I mean, people to subscribe to. What is everybody stitching on? And I guess I could do the Discord here too, right? On YouTube? Do people put their Discord on YouTube? We can try it. Whoop. Yeah. It's fun. It's really funny to watch a new stitcher and see you talk about like being nervous and worrying about not worrying, but like thinking about making content that your viewers want to see, and how I like after a year of doing it, I'm just like, nah. It's my channel, I do what I want. Okay, so if you want to put anything in the Discord. Okay, so if you want to put anything in the Discord, you can put it there if you know how to use Discord. If you don't, that's totally fine. You can just tell me. Ooh, design. Your haunted garden. I'll have to go look at your Instagram and remind myself what that is. We are doing that, but I am doing a strand a day on this. So that I can finish it or get it ready for when Nathia and I stitch on each other's. Because this is one that, like, I know okay, so this is the title of the video. I don't plan, but I'm planning. I'm a sweetie gal all the way, but I'm gonna be out of my apartment for 2 months, or a month and a half. Well, actually, well, not quite 2 months, but more than a month. And I need to plan what I'm gonna take. I need to know what I will have to work on. And I was like, usually, like, I approach my day like, okay, what do I want to stitch on? I mean, Stitch for Pride is basically dictating what I stitch on, which is okay, because I want to stitch on the projects that Stitch for Pride is making me stitch on. But I need to plan. No, you're right, because that is the title of the video. I mean, that's the thumbnail. That's the Stitch for Pride prompt for today. Is 2 birds, right? Stitch on something that has at least 2 birds. But I haven't done my donating yet. I'll have to do that right after. Yep. Plan what is plans what are plans. You know, I kind of figured out I can use cross stitch to kind of teach me other things, like teach me habits for my regular life. Like, there's some whips that I'm like, oh, I really want to have progress on that. Right, but if I don't stitch it, it's not gonna make progress. Just like, oh, I want the dishes to be done. But if I don't do the dishes, they're not gonna be done. So cross stitch is kind of teaching me a little bit of that, or it's helping me learn those. And I've had moments before where cross stitch has showed me that I'm capable of certain things. Like there was one time where I was stitching on a bookmark, and I was close to done with it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be stitching on this anymore. And then I was like, no, Kaylee, just finish it. Like, you don't have that much left, just finish it. And even though I didn't want to, I did. Here I am talking about like improving my habits through cross stitch. But there's no shame in that. Like, if you want to improve yourself, if you want to make improvements, you do it by whatever means are necessary. And however you want to teach yourself. Is my camera like super... I wonder if I'm using a... Oh! camera number 1 on the back. Boy, I need to learn more about the fact that my phone has 3 cameras. Hey, Ashley. Yeah, I put move forward on a lot of prompts too. And having that be on a lot of prompts kind of follows my natural, hey Nathy, follows my natural sweewee style of when I have a new start. I just kind of like go ham on it for a little while. Although yesterday I got a lot of stitches in on Trans Pride Tapestry. Let me show you, in case you haven't seen my Instagram post. Oh, I went away from my songs. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. This design is just, I can't wait for the other one too. I'm gonna put it on the same fabric, I think, and do it the same way. But yesterday I finished filling in these leaves. I had this motif started on the outline, so I finished that. I did the outline on this, I did the outline in this, started on the tail, and then I did the fill-in for all 3 of these. 1, 2, 3 motifs. And then I started in the mane a little bit, so I had these blues, so I did the pink, I did the pink, I did the blue, I did the pink, I did the blue. And then I figured out that Etoile is gonna be good for me on this. I think that's what's charted, actually. But I had the light effects and I tried it and it was too bulky. It was not good on 40 count. It probably would be really good on 14 or something, you know, bigger than 40. Hey, Suzanne, good to see you. Isn't it? Like, the Etoile sparkles a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but it really does. It's true. On camera, it doesn't sparkle, but in person, it really does. I mean, I'm sure when I stitch the unicorn with it, you'll be able to see that. Anybody else who stitches with the toile, do you try to like twist the thread in the such that the sparkle will show, or do you just kind of stitch without really caring? Because I did. I mean, some of the sparkles are showing, but then some of them are hidden under the stitches. It's very nice. It's very thin, and it works really well, but I don't know if I want to like consistently have that sparkle, or yeah, whatever. I don't think I really care that much. This is gonna be so good. So now it's 36%. I jumped 10% in one day. And that's because I'm stitching this half stitch. There's 21,000 stitches in it or whatever, and I'm doing it 10 stitch. It goes faster, and I don't feel like I'm losing too much detail. I mean, I really am, because like some of the lines in the outline, some of the lines are going in a straight line, some of them are going in like chunk lines, but farther away you don't. Yeah, you know, sometimes I'm like, I don't really care what it looks like in the end. I just like the process of stitching. I guess that's my answer, process stitcher. Suzanne, I don't use a magnifier. These are just my regular glasses with my regular prescription. I do have a couple pairs of reading glasses that I bought when I first started stitching on 40. I have a 275. I have a 250 and a 2. But my near vision is actually really good. I'm nearsighted, and I can see really well up close. Like, I don't even use a magnifier on my tinier stuff. Like, I don't use a magnifier on stuff like this. And this is 64-ish count. The problem with it, like, the problem with me and magnifiers is that I usually forget to use them if I'm not live, and then if I am live and I try to use the magnifiers, I like can't read the chat. I guess some people would encourage me to do that. my hater. So I know this is not move forward in love, but I will get to that. I am doing a strand a day for those of you who weren't here. Eagle eyes a little bit, I feel like, and I'm gonna ride it out until my eyes go bad. I'm gonna keep stitching tiny. For some reason this week a lot of kids are asking my age. They're like, how old are you? I've gotten some pretty good guesses. Anytime they ask me, I say, how old do you think I am? And I had a pre-K kid, a pre-kinder child say 64. I was like, how old do you think I am? And she was like, 64? Oh, children. Children they say funny things. I had a 5th grader tell me, did I say this on my Twitch stream? Oh well, my single hater. Yeah, I giggle every time I think about it too. Like, it just makes me laugh every time I think about all you do is play with your cat. Oh. Oh, yeah, kids. I had a 5th grader say, I would believe you if you told me you were 18. And I was like, what? You're in 5th grade. You should know the math that a teacher can't be 18 years old. I mean, maybe they haven't discussed what college is like and how it takes 4 years to go through college. And if you graduate high school at 18, you at least will be 22. Unless you're a student teacher. I mean, student teachers can be 20, 21. I have so much phlegm in my throat. Are we gonna make it through this? I think we'll make it through this whole motif. Maybe. Yeah, I think we will. Yeah, I spent like 5 minutes with a kindergarten class having them guess my age. So like, some of the kids have their closing ceremonies this week, which is not a graduation. Because they're not graduating from 5th grade. They're just closing 5th grade so that they can go to 6th grade. Anyway, so my classroom is the stage. So if they're practicing in the auditorium, I can't be teaching at the same time, right? And so I've been going to their classrooms for music. Which it's actually kind of nice to have the change of pace because the kids naturally behave differently in their own classroom. Even though it's still me, and even though they still behave differently with me no matter where they are, they're in their own classroom, so they behave just a little differently. But I went into this kindergarten classroom, and a child asked me how old I was, and I was like, how old do you think I am? And they gave this wild guess. I think they guessed like 70 or something like that. They just have no concept of how old people should be. So I was like, no, and then I found they had a number chart up to 100. And so I was like, okay, so and-so guessed 30, and that's really close. And I held up the number chart, and I was like, who has a guess? And they kept guessing like 65, 100, 10, 11. Nope, 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 nope. And then it took them like 5 minutes to get a guess in the 20. Even though I was like, it has to be in this row. 20, 22, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Somebody guessed 30. It's not 30. And they were still guessing outside that. I was like, come on, children. Silly kids. And then finally they got it, and their teacher was like, Miss Parker, you're making me feel old. I felt like being like one of my kids who always misbehaves. They go, sorry. I'm like, okay, you're sorry, but you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Wait, Nathi, which way do you stitch? Does your top leg go... Which way does your top leg... Actually, I don't care. You can stitch how you want to on mine. Here I was being like, all the X's need to go the same way, same direction, but then I'm like, no, they don't. I'm gonna say that I'm okay with the rules being broken in this one. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about on this piece, on this ink circles, I'm stitching this with a stitch along with Nathi, who's in the chat, stitching Nathi. And we are both doing it on a 40 count, and we are both using Tudor silk from Gloriana. And Nathi had the idea, well, first of all, I blame Nathi for me registering for Stitch North. Oh, you stitch the opposite way? Your top leg goes top left to bottom right? And then Nathi was like, we should stitch on each other's. We should finish each other's whip. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Let's do it. So we decided that the center motif, which is like 823, 832. I wrote it down. 832. 832 stitches we're gonna have to get in the weekend. The weekend of Stitch North. I think that's doable. Depends on how much we're schmoozing. So I'm gonna stitch with my floss on Nathi's fabric, and Nathi's gonna stitch with her floss on mine. It's pretty liberating to like not really care if the colors are clashing, because to someone the colors don't clash, and that someone is me. See, I already passed the number I need. One strand can stitch, well, we'll see how much it can stitch, because I can tell you. I like this little hoop. It's quick to put on, quick to take off. I really do need to update Instagram on this one. Or did I already? I don't think I did. Yeah, one strand does go a long way. I'm using thread conditioner on this. I don't know how much it's helping, but it does seem to be helping. I stitched 83 stitches with one strand, so almost double what I need to on a day, on the daily. So there's my strand a day. Strand a day. Ugh. Isn't that cute? Oh, I just love this. I just love it. It's just so cute. Okay, I can put everything back in this bag. I need to start a list of what I want to take to Iowa. This is one of them. I think I might just put a separate column for or maybe I'll do a separate page for how much I do on this a day. Well, that's a future Kaylee problem. How is everyone at the moment? I'm gonna show the Discord. Excuse me. That's gonna be so good. That's a great color. Kitties! My pride kitties! Oh, that's the Susie. Yes! Look at the Susie! Where is she? I think she's being a cave lady. Ooh! Oh yeah, this one. That looks so good. Cross stitch is so cute, isn't it? I could probably delete some Well, that took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but whatever. Look at this little hoop. I should take this out of here, but I don't want to. I think I'm doing boring stuff on this today. Oh, that's right. I was gonna do some of these branches and stuff. Oh, I didn't put this on here yet. Hang on. There we go. I think this fabric is a little bit like the 5363 in that it like is a little longer one way. Like I think it's a little bit taller than it is wide. So it's an uneven weave. Or do I have two needles on here? Isn't that good? Oh, nice. That's a good idea for the tiny stitching. How do I want, which way do I want to do this? I want to do it this way. Oops. Ba-dum. There we go. Yeah. I've been using this like crappy old lap stand for pretty regularly now. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna mute while I set this up because I don't want to make a whole bunch of noise. Okay. I need to straighten these strands. I also have been like thinking about patterns that I want to start. I haven't been planning on how I'm gonna like make progress on my full coverage stuff, but you know, like I'm gonna move my microphone. Okay. Okay, Jay, let's go. So I've been planning, like, I have this thing where I'm like looking at projects that people were stitching on like last year, being like, I want to do that one. Oh, I want that one. Oh, I want that one. And I think my biggest one is the Modern Folk Embroidery stitch along from last year, because I want to do it tiny, like 56 count tiny. I think the fabrics that are not even weave actually are really hard to stitch on. Like, I kind of get a little disoriented when I'm trying to stitch on this. And it was that way with the all you do is play with your cats. Play with your cat. Like, I think my eyes are so used to looking for that even weave. the pattern? The pattern is on Pattern Keeper. If you're talking about the project, I'm using a Nerge hoop. Nerge. I think it's a UK company, but some needle shops sell them in America, and I'm assuming Canada as well. And then I'm using this lap stand, wooden lap stand from Amazon. It was really cheap, and you can only put like hoops in it. You can't put Q-snaps in it. And good morning, Amy. Is there anything I stitch on every day? I didn't used to do that, but the Certificado pattern is, I think, going to become that because I want to take it in small chunks. I'm basically just like, what do I want to stitch on today? Okay, I'll stitch on that. And then if I get bored of it, I stitch on something else. I mean, over 2 on an even weave fabric is hard enough. And even if that... Okay, so here's what I learned from Karen, and other people have been saying this too. That some linens are technically an even weave because they have the same amount of threads, both orientations. But an uneven weave is one that does not, like a 5363 or this fabric, which I'm not quite sure what this is. It might be that. But stitching over 2 is more difficult in general because your eyes have to count twice and your brain has to count twice. But then when you make it smaller, then it's harder. Oops, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in a phase where I don't really have a plan for like fabric and floss for a pattern. I'm kind of like, oh, I want to stitch this pattern. And then if there's some fabric that I want to use, I look at it and see if it would work. And if it won't, then I'm like, okay. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like my thoughts are like very fragmented. So like for example on this one, I was like, okay, I know I want to stitch this pattern. Let me see what I have in my fabrics. And then sometimes it's like, okay, do I want to try to kit this up a different way? Like, do I need to buy anything? And then I'm like, well, no, I don't need to buy anything, and it will be expensive to buy the things that I am thinking about for it, so I'll just stitch this with what I have. So that was on this one. I was like, okay, do I stitch it over one? Well, I want to do full cross, but I don't want to buy a bunch of tiny thread at the moment because it's expensive and I've spent a lot on it recently. So I will just stitch it over two with DMC. 4, 9, 4, 5, 6, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait. I think I counted wrong. This is why I count as I go. I'm just like double check. 1, 2, 7, 8. I did count wrong. You know, part of me is like, oh, if I don't care about this like wonky fabric, then all my projects are going to be wonky. And I'm like, you know what? That's life. Life is imperfect. Stitching on this fabric that I was gifted on this pattern, which means a lot, in this month, that's what matters. Doesn't matter that it looks imperfect. That's like such a good lesson for me. Is like setting that boundary for myself, and then if somebody wants to tell me that my fabric is uneven or it looks a certain way or they don't like how it looks, I'm like, I don't really care. I didn't ask. And if I do ask, then you can tell me your opinion. But if I don't ask, then don't tell me. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm talking about like, you know, how I look at somebody else's projects and what I think about it. If I expect others not to care what mine looks like, then I don't need to care what other people's looks like. Because I've caught myself doing that, especially if I see something that's like on Ada and then the stitches look really uneven or blah blah blah, and I'm like, you know what, Kaylee? Sometimes you don't feel like using a laying tool. Sometimes you don't feel like I'm picking something, so don't go and criticize somebody else who has not done those things. Yay. Yeah, exactly. there's nothing wrong with being like, with, you know, setting that boundary, because in the end, it's a hobby. It's whatever you want it to be. That's why Karen is so inspiring. She says, this is the way that I stitch, but there's no rules. Like, you can do it how you want to. Do what makes you happy. I do have knowledge, but these are just guidelines, and if you try it and you don't like it, that's fine. And I always need to remind myself that even though I want everybody to enjoy my content, or the people who watch, I want them to enjoy it, but in more ways than one, my content is not for everybody. That's why I was like, okay, do I like talk openly about Stitch for Pride on my channel? And I'm like, okay, literally stop that thinking. I was like, oh, what if some people will be offended? And who? I don't care. Stop that. It doesn't matter. If they don't want to watch it, they don't have to. But I'm going to talk about it because it's one of my core values to, you know, respect other humans. My channel, my rules. Either watch or don't. One, two. And I realized, like, there are some fears that I have about like, if I start talking about this, am I going to offend people who I love or people who I'm close to? But then I remind myself, you know, there are things about the people that I love that I don't like, but I still love them. And it doesn't change the fact that I love them, even if they're doing things that I don't like, or even if they have beliefs that I don't like, that I don't agree with. And that, in a sense, that is, I'm very lucky that I don't have to excommunicate myself because of their beliefs, because it hasn't affected, like, my personal life, but knowing that above else, I need to respect myself and I need to stay true to my values. Can you tell I've had an epiphany? So we need 7. Hey! Hang on, I'm focusing. 5. 6. 7. Even if I play with my cat too much. I love that. Lots of other stitchers to watch if they don't like it. Exactly. Yeah, just leave. Don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. Thank you, Julia. I like it a lot. In all of its perfection and imperfection. Yeah. I spent a lot of my life worrying about pleasing others, making sure that others were happy. Making sure that I was behaving in a way that other people would be happy with me. And it's taken me, I mean, you know, I let go of some things in my mid-20s, but it has taken me still, you know, 5 more years to realize I still haven't shaken that. And I'm still, like, worried about what other people are thinking. And I think that some of that is healthy. You know, I don't need to be insensitive about you know, how I talk about things that not everybody will agree with. But it's a, like, situation by situation, right? Like, is it really aligning with my values to tiptoe around this issue? Or is it like, if you don't agree with this, then tough luck, because this is what I believe, because it's, you know, the right thing. It's respectful to other humans. $13. 6, 7. Okay, we're good. Exactly, yeah. If somebody disagrees with my core values, then A, this is my channel, but privately, then if we can't work it out privately, then we just, you know, don't really interact, because it's incredibly difficult to interact with people whose values don't align with yours. Because, you know, there's so much of our lives that are connected, like our beliefs, our values, our behavior, our handling of conflict, our handling of disagreement. Like, those all... Oh, Suzanne, that's sweet. Like, all of those have to be taken into consideration, and I'm not using this as, like, I'm bragging about my perspective, but I've lived in a lot of different parts of the country, and I've lived in places where the ideology is completely different, or the, you know, the view on politics is really different. And as much as I don't agree with whichever place I've lived, their political views, I have to remind myself they're humans. They came to that conclusion somehow. Their life experience has brought them to this belief. And although I don't agree with it, I need to remind myself that the way that I interact with them could be helpful or hurtful in having them understand, you know, if their beliefs are harmful, how they are harmful, or uninformed, or, you know, just all out wrong in my opinions. This is inspirational. The mood is inspirational. I don't know if I've played these before. Diala. This song is called Hippo. We should check the Discord. Oh, wow. Yes, Hex Hotel! Wait, are you working on that today for Stitch for Pride? Does that have birds in it? I might have to do that pattern. I'm not like a huge Halloween stitcher, which is unfortunate because my cat is a black cat, and all of the Halloween stuff has black cats in it. It's hard to find like charts that are black cat but not Halloween. Oh my goodness, the lag is really terrible. Yeah. Yeah, you can't do the same things that one in one state than you can in the other. Yeah. Yeah. I was in a third grade classroom this week, and it was a shorter music class than usual, so I was like, well, if we just kind of like... Okay, sometimes you need this as a teacher, is just to like kill time with a class instead of like actually going with your lesson plan. So don't come for me on that. But I was like, let me just like show these kids what North Dakota is like and where I grew up and what my school looks like. And so I pull up Google Maps and I pull up the United States. And a kid says, without like prompting, why is the United States so big? I was like, good question. Good question. That's a great question. Why is it so big? I suppose I could have ended the thread, but whatever. And, I mean, pertaining to your story, like, there are these small communities, small pockets of our world, or of our country, of our world, that develop their own way of thinking, way of treating people, way of discriminating, and then just run with it. They just go with it. Like, oh, we're this field. We're engineering. There's not very many women. Oh, we're the South. We're racist. Sorry, that's not true. It's not true of all Southerners. From what I can tell, Julia, this is I think I measured it to be about a 56 by less. 56 by 54 or something like that. And it's a linen. And Kayli Cruff dyed it. Let me link her shop, because I think she sells her fabrics. But she messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, I'm going to send you some fabric. And I was like, oh, okay. And she sent me like these gorgeous pieces of fabric. The sewing shop. I think they might be like just test dyes, actually. She has project bags, like this project bag, and the one sitting back there. And she sells lots of stuff there. But you're in Seattle, right, Julia? So it would get to you pretty quick. Wait. Right? I'd have to remind myself which side of the country she's on. Which side of Canada she's on. Dude, Kaylee has so many full coverage projects. And I'm like, what? They're all really cool. Oh, yay! Say hi to Nati. And Michelle and who else lives up there? Imogen? Does Imogen live near Portland? Or is she Seattle? I can't remember. I watched their floss tubes, but I don't remember. Aren't excuse me, aren't they? Like, these are really intricate. These bags. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember that. Oh, kitty! Yes, look at the little kitty. Is that a ghost cat? Lola Crow cross-stitch cat. It looks like a ghosty cat. Oops. I'm not saying goodbye. Michelle is like, what is it, like 40 minutes out of out of Portland? Eugene. I just sent Michelle some tiny stitching stuff. We have had 61 people request tiny kits. $60 which have been sent out. Oh, Kaylee. I have 3 needles on here. I need to make these smaller. Oh, I did that one. Oh. See, I'm really sad because I was thinking about going to Portland before I go to Iowa, but then school is lasting until June 15th here. And I have to be in Iowa June 19th. So it's like a not a long enough trip. Maybe like sometime in the fall. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. I mean, if you stitch something and you're like, oh, but I wanted to stitch this, I'll send you more. I can send you more. I don't know if Karen is lying to me because she keeps being like, oh, I tracked down more 56 count. I'll send you some more. Karen, like, is... man, that woman is amazing. Like, she is tracking down all this 56 count so I can share it. And mind you, I still have a good piece of it, a good size piece of it. Mm. That's a good pattern, Ashley. Ghost cat. Okay, I have something to chat about y'all with. Now that we're talking about like going to and seeing people and places. It's been kind of apparent to me that my emotional support is like Dylan, and he's like, well, I don't mind being your emotional support, like you should get somewhere else. Or like friends that you chat with regularly. And I keep like, hey Karen. I keep thinking like Stitchers aren't friends. Whoops, that snag nabbit is definitely too big. Help! I buried my... There we go. Oh, Kaylee. Oh, it'll get covered soon. Should have been checking that. I didn't stitch over my thing. But like, y'all are my emotional support. You already are. I'm pretty open, I feel like, on the internet. And while I don't like share all the details of what I'm feeling and going through, like I talk about it. This is an interesting song. So yes, I do need to have more emotional support, and yes, I should communicate more with my close friends that are not stitchy people. But y'all are real people. Y'all have emotions. Y'all have become my friends. I mean, of course, there needs to be like a little voice in the back of my head that says, hey, you haven't actually met these people. You don't interact with them on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. And just knowing that, you know, you have supportive people and friends, like actual friends from this community. Like, I don't need to discount that or say, you know, oh, their advice is not valid because they're not like my real in-person friend. But y'all are. We're as in-person as we could be, connecting through the internet where we all live. I mean, because I've talked about my life with a lot of you. A lot of people. Yeah, exactly. I also think, like, making friends in this way is really good. Because when you make friends with somebody based on a common interest or a common love, then you connect more with other things that you have in common. Like TV shows, if you watch TV or movies or, you know, fandoms. And for me, it's taught me, like, hey, not everybody that watches this is, like, a dum-dum. Because Stitchers aren't dum-dums for the most part. Piano Journey. One, two, three. Yeah. We should, and I need to get to see Delilah. Because, I mean, Dylan will probably still take lessons in Philly. One of these times, I'll just have to make a weekend out of it. Or we will. Listen to this song! Real exciting. Hey.
Hey.
Wow. This song is like not the right vibe for what we're talking about. Either that it's the perfect vibe.
Happy Pentecost, everybody. I learned what Pentecost means this year.
I can't do that anymore. What?
I learned what Pentecost means this year.
Oh.
Yeah. It's from the book of Acts when the Holy Spirit appears to the disciples at some point after Christ died.
Okay.
Now I know. I was always just told, oh, it's that long portion of the church calendar in the summer where nothing happens.
That was an intense song. I can't handle that song.
Can I get food?
Like, get food somewhere?
I'm going with you.
Oh. They're going?
Yeah.
Right. Like, right now?
Anna's gonna head there whenever we get over.
Shoot.
It's up to you.
I mean, yeah, I do want Dukem.
I know you've only been streaming for 90 minutes.
Listen to Dylan being the voice of reason and me just wanting to stay sitting here. Well, did you hear? Dylan's going to get Ethiopian food, so I'm going to have to go get Ethiopian food. I'm going to have to, I guess. Yeah. Dude, if you've never had Ethiopian food, it's so good. It's so good. Yes, I'll go get food. I need to finish all the way up here. You know, he probably texted me that, and I just don't pay attention to my phone while I'm streaming. Because my phone is my camera. Okay, well, I hope y'all enjoy your day. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for the talk. Thank you for the love. And I'll see you soon. My Twitch streams will be on Wednesday, or on Thursdays. Thursdays. So yeah, I'll see you soon, whenever I see you. Bye.